week. Okay. This is just an extension of the flipped classroom video that Dr. Chastain put out for the whole district. So, questions before we get started? No? Okay. All right, let's get started then. I think we know here that good teaching is the foundation of what it is we do, and so between teachers and students, we should be fostering and using inquiry-based methods, discovery and creation. I think that's one thing here at JTSD that is our bread and butter of what it is that we do on a daily basis. So good teaching is also what makes digital age environments meaningful to students, and realizing that the technology is the tool and that good teaching and good pedagogy are the keys to learning. So as we transition from traditional to digital, which we're pretty much in the digital format of that realize that there are still things that we need to work on, or even curiosity for discovery and becoming better at something, and using the flipped classroom model is becoming better at the way that we go about teaching and getting knowledge to our students, is that don't be afraid to admit what you don't know. And there's a lot of things. Yeah, exactly. I laugh. There's a lot of things that I don't know and that I've learned over the last couple of years that I need to know, that I could ask a friend that they might know how to do that particular application or particular lesson. How am I using technology with that? Don't be afraid to ask. Seek out new information. I always like to try to do something new each year. One thing, try something new that I've never done before. That way I don't get stressed out, but it's also that I'm still learning and becoming better at something. So, and then don't be afraid to start small and practice with that one thing that it is that we're doing. Use it for all your daily activities. That's how you get better at something. That's how you get comfortable and familiar with something, is by using that one thing. And then teach somebody who doesn't know what it is that you're doing. And then give your daily routine a digital twist. So learning involves the acquisition and integration of new material, and it's based on prior knowledge. We also have to correct those naive or false conceptions, and that goes along with the flipped classroom model as well. And then become a better member of the community. So the goal of learning is to become an expert, so let's become an expert of the flipped classroom model. So the agenda for the presentation is the purpose of flipping, getting started with what it is you can do within your classroom. Know that you need to prepare to spend a lot of time up on the forefront of it. The very first year is probably the one that is the most stressful for you, is getting ready, getting your materials together. But after you get the hang of it, it becomes a more refined machine. So there's no one way to flip a classroom. It might look different in my classroom as opposed to Susan's classroom or your classroom, Stephanie. So we all don't have to be doing the same thing, and that's okay. You need to do it how it fits your needs. The tools that you can use, and then flipped learning in your classroom. So the purpose of it is just to extend your instructional time. So if you're putting your information that you would do within a mini lesson in a video that's short and sweet, 5 to 8 minutes, then you can take that time that you would be using in your classroom to be using it doing guided stations, small mini lesson back with the students who truly need it. It provides additional support at home, because there's so many times that your kiddos go home and your parents aren't quite sure of how to teach that particular skill, or they might have learned it differently, or they just don't know how to help them at home. So those videos that you post would be good tutorials for your parents as well. You can review and diagnose different purposes through those videos. It's always a great tool to be able to go back and reference and use over and over and over again. That's the great thing about the flipped classroom, is once you post it and you have it posted somewhere, it's always there. So the kiddos or the parents can reference it as many times as they need to. You get more student-teacher interaction within your classroom because you're not having to take that time that you would for your mini lesson because it's in the video. You might just reference it again, but then you can get into your stations and work with those kiddos more one-on-one. It allows you to be able to differentiate even more than probably what you do now. And the fact that if they're watching the video, and it might look different at a 2nd grade level as opposed to a 6th grade level, and how you would use the videos within your classroom. But you could truly push the ones that are a little bit higher level, doing some application or extension type activities, and then you can really work with those ones that truly, truly need your support. I always liked it because you post the videos and you have kiddos that are absent, they can still be watching the videos at home, so they're not really missing out on anything that you did throughout the day. Although I found that when I was doing it, I always had kids that would say, well, I was absent today. But the videos are always there, so you can always watch them, if you're feeling okay, of course. Yeah, so that's what I always liked about it, is getting into the mindset is that if you have the videos, and you know you're going to be absent, or you're going to be somewhere that you're going to be out of the classroom, the videos are always there for you, that you still have access to the learning. And also what I liked about it is that they can pause it, take notes, rewind it, watch it as many times as they need to. And then again, you have that support at home for the parents.
For your own absences as well, so that you're not stressed about, will the sub have any idea what I'm doing here?
Right. Liz Stott said that she used it quite frequently last year, I believe, or the year before, whenever she was out for maternity leave, that she still posted videos for her students to watch. That way they were still getting the instruction of how she would have provided it, and it was still online for the kiddos to watch.
Connected to her, and easier for them to transition back to listening to her.
I think so as well. So getting started, just remember, and don't feel afraid to ask questions as we go. Getting started, it does take some front-end preparation beforehand. You have to decide where you're going to house the videos. So whether it be on your school website or through Google Classroom, or when I did it, and then I used Edmodo. And I like that in the fact that it was safe and secure, and so only my math kiddos were on that particular site together. And then my parents could have a code to look and see what we were doing as well. Make sure you have your materials and videos ready to go before you sit down to make your video. That way it cuts down on the time that you are using to put the video together, and you're not fumbling and scrambling for what it is and having to do a lot of pausing and piecing together of your videos. When I made my videos, I used just screencastomatic, and I tried to use my smart notebook as much as I could, because I wasn't one that liked to get up in front and have the video on me, because nobody wants to see that part of that, but I felt it to be more beneficial of just using my airliner that I had to write or annotate my notes, and then just use a smart notebook, slide, and talk on a microphone, and make my video from there. So that's one of the things that you'll have to think about, is how is it going to look for you, and what tools do we already have that we can use within your classroom to make videos effectively. Make sure you start small. Maybe it is that you want to try one particular unit, whether it be any subject area. To me, it just blended quite nicely for math, because I figured that that would be the easiest subject for me to start. And that way they got the instruction the night before, plus they got a lot of practice problems as well for their notes. But it's something that you could definitely use within all of your classroom subjects. But start small. Don't feel like this is something that you have to do every single day of the instruction. Maybe it's an anticipatory video or an engaging, exciting video to lend into what it is you're doing the next day. Afraid to make your own videos, because I always felt like if I could find good quality information that was already made that went along with what it was that I was instructing on the next day, then I would use that video. So if you don't like to be the person like me that likes to listen to their voice on a recording, and you could find a video, whether it be from LearnZillion or Study Jams or any other good educational site, I would use the video, because it does help you save time. And if it goes along with what it is that you're teaching and it covers a skill quite nicely, and you couldn't have done any better job than what was being presented in that video, then I would use that particular video. But keep in mind, you guys can use LearnZillion. It does go down to kindergarten now, especially on the math skills. And the one thing that I liked about LearnZillion is that the kids didn't have to have a login code. They didn't have to have an account. Whenever I posted LearnZillion videos, I would always post the link to get them there. And then the LearnZillion has a LZ and then like a 3 or 4 digit code. And then when they went to the website, they just clicked on the little box that said, I have a quick code, type in the quick code number, and it took them directly to that video. So it was kind of easy. Tools that we already have that you could use and go back to your classroom and start this today would be, you have your smart recorder on your smart notebook, and you also have your hover cam that records in video as well. And that would be a lot like of what I use with the screencastomatic with the hover cam, is that you would just have your paper underneath the camera and talk into it as you're doing your lesson. That would make it very, very easy to start off with at the very beginning. Dr. Chastain mentioned a camera called Swivel that sits on the end of the table, and you put your phone or camera device in it, and you wear a microphone. So if you want to be up at the smart board making a video and you look back occasionally, that camera will swivel to wherever you're at.
Do we have
with
one
the
of those,
microphone? No, he's
Okay,
thinking about ordering them.
I was like, those are great. I think they're really awesome. Do we have one?
No, we do not have one of those, but he's thinking about
They
ordering
are really
those.
awesome.
Yes.
They'd be great.
So, if you like to be on the camera a lot, but that would not be me. So, CPS Clickers, something again we don't have in this building, but every other elementary building has at least 2 sets in their library, and they do work quite nicely if you have the software on there. I used it every single morning in my math class. So after they watched the video the night before, what usually happened in my math class was they would come in, we would grade the assignment from the previous day, talk about any problems, then we went directly into like a Fast 5 quick assess with the CPS Clickers. And then I used that data based upon how they did, if they were back at the back table with me for more instruction on the skill, or if they have it, they were doing application and extension type problems. And then those kids that just needed more practice with it, I could put those students into a group and they could do more practice and hands-on questions. So, but I think that there are many other things that we could use on our iPads that are web-based tools like Socrative Worker. They would all do the same thing, and you would still be able to get data.
Clickers.
Yeah, even if you don't have
To get
technology in your
since
room.
we're not one-to-one,
Right.
Clickers get us one-to-one where our
Right.
system's at.
And I think, again, you have to look at it as how it's going to work for your grade level. Is this going to be something that you do every day with your kiddos? And is it something that you want to take the instruction out of your room as well? So, it might look different depending upon the lower grade levels as opposed to 5th and 6th grade. What I used quite nicely was screencastomatic, and it's very easy. And it doesn't work as friendly with the Macs, but what I liked about it is that you didn't ever have to sign up. You could just start recording. It puts a little tutorial box over whatever it is that you want to record. So if I had a really nice smart notebook lesson, but I wanted to use the example slides in it, I could still make a video out of it and still use a PowerPoint or still use a smart notebook lesson. Doesn't mean that I have to scrap all those things now that I'm making videos. If they were good, I could use screencastomatic and make a video out of it. And it records up to 15 minutes of time. And then what I liked about it is that I could make one video, but then I could save it in 3 different file formats, because I never knew what type of device they were using at home or what type of computer they had at home. So this gave me the ease and functionality of making a video rather quickly, and then changing the file formats and uploading everything to one post on Edmodo. What I have used this year, because Screencast-O-Matic doesn't work very easily, is I just use the Screen Capture Tool Lite, and it does the exact same thing. And I found that in the App Store. I haven't used EdgeU or EdgePuzzle, but I believe EdgeU allows you to upload a video and it'll stop at points and you can ask questions, so then you're assessing as you're going through. EdPuzzle does the same thing, as well as BlendSpace. Video Notes allows you to, gives them the functionality of taking notes as they're watching the video. Zaption is another website that Liz Stotts uses with Doceri at the junior high in her science classes. Gives her the feasibility of watching videos, but then also answering any questions or asking questions as they go through. And then WeVideo helps you put your video together.